Hello, and welcome to this episode of Simply Saturday. My name is Julie, and this is Stamp with Julie Baum. I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I'm here today to show you a fast and easy card. However, we're taking a little bit of a different approach. Often here on my Simply Saturday series, I will show you a layout or a card design that you can either copy exactly how I did it, or you can use what you have at home and make substitutions. Today, instead of the actual layout, I'm pretty much teaching you a technique. And this is a technique that I don't believe I've ever made a video showing. So that will be kind of fun. It will be new. And I wanted a chance to say goodbye to the retiring in colors. These are the 2024 to 2026 colors. They will be retiring as of May 4th of 2026. And they already are until, or as long as supply is available. So if there's any of these 5 colors that you still want, or that you need ink refills, or you need some more cardstock, etc., now is the time to be looking for that, because these are going to either and or sell out or retire by May 4th. All right, so for the technique that we're going to do a little bit of a well, there's different ways to do ink smooshing, and this is one of the ways to do ink smooshing. So this is what we're going to start with. We're going to start with our ink pad colors. Let me tell you what they are. And again, these are the final days of these colors. We have Peach Pie, Pretty in Pink, Petunia Pop, Summer Splash, and Shy Shamrock. I have a piece of Petunia Pop cardstock. This is 4¼ inches by 11 inches. And I have made a score and fold at 5½ inches. Then I have a piece of white cardstock, and this piece is 4 inches by 5¼ and we're probably going to want a second piece of white for the inside panel. So let me grab that. I have a piece of white here. I just need to trim it down to the 5¼ by 4. All right, now we have a second piece that we'll use as our inside panel. To do this technique, you're going to need some kind of a spray bottle or a spritzer. And so I'm using one of our Stampin' Up spritzers. And you can see that I've marked it with water because there are other techniques where you may want to fill this with isopropyl alcohol. And so for this one, I wanted to only use water. And so after removing the cap, you can untwist the top of it and fill this. Again, we're just using straight water today. And I'm going to put a little bit more in here because it looks a little low. So I've just taken this and to the sink and added a little bit more water. It's very full now. Get the spray part back in place. All right, so we're going to be using this in just a moment. I'm also using a large acrylic block. This is the I block, and this is going to be critical to our technique. All right, so let's just go ahead and jump in. We're going to use all 5 ink pads, and I'm going to use them in the order that I just described to you. And so the first thing that I'm going to do is take my block. I'm using the side of the ink pad here. It seems to work a little bit better. And as you're doing this technique, because I'm using 5 colors, I kind of want to imagine my block into fifths or into 5 segments. So that's what I'm doing, but it's not super, super critical that it's exact. So I'm going to lay down my block kind of on the edge of the pad and slide it so I pick up some ink. You can see, and this isn't going to be very perfect. It's not even going to be the same each time you do it. You're going to end up with a different look each and every time. The next thing is to take Pretty in Pink. Now I'm going to start below my peach pie, and I'm going to drag it and kind of try to stop about where the peach pie started. All right, so now I've got some of each of those two colors. Next is Petunia Pop. This should be somewhere near the center of my eye block. That one's a brighter color. It's a little bit easier to see there on the block. Next, we're going to go with Summer Splash. And last is going to be Shy Shamrock. Now I'm going to change things up for just a second here. My last color is Shy Shamrock. I'm going to go ahead and take my eye block and turn it around the other way. So now I'm going to put the last two colors here. It's just a little bit easier than trying to add those colors at the bottom of the block. So I've got, this is the inky side, and I'm going to go with my last color. Go ahead and put my Shy Shamrock on here. And now there's only one little spot in between those two colors, and this is where my Summer Splash is going to go. So you can see that I've made some little stripes and some strings, some stripes and streaks, that's the word, on here. Now, I'm going to move my paper out of the way because this part gets a little bit messy. And because I'm working here on my desktop and I don't want to move away out of the camera view, I'm going to lay a towel down here just to catch any extra spray so that we don't get our surface wet, so we can continue with our tutorial. Now I'm going to take that little spritzer and I'm going to spritz about 5 times like so. So you can see it kind of bubbles up on the ink. It's exactly what we want. And now while that's wet, we're going to take our white cardstock, flip this over, and I actually, this is the way it's going to go vertically, but I feel better working this way with my block, so I'm going to turn it that way. I'm going to lay it right down on the edge of the paper and set it down. Then I'm going to press, and you can see all of those beautiful colors. The ink is smooshing onto the paper and kind of blending as it does. Now I used plain basic white cardstock for this. Many of the ink smooshing techniques or techniques that use a lot of water or the rubbing alcohol are much better on watercolor paper, but this is working for us today, and so it's kind of fun to just show because you might not have watercolor paper in your stash. If you don't, I do recommend that you add that and go ahead and have it in your paper collection. All right, now we've got this beautiful little rainbow print. I'm going to move this out of the way. And we're actually going to let this dry for just a couple of seconds while we put the rest of the card together, and then we're going to come back to this. Now, again, you're going to have a different look every time you do this. I'll show you a second card that I created with the exact same steps. I'll show you that one at the end, and you'll see how even though this technique was done the same way, you get a little bit of a different look each time. Okay, I'm going to use my Summer Splash and a stamp from Notes and Totes. And I'm going to add just a note right here, like so. And then we're actually going to use each of these ink colors one more time. And I've chosen the little sunshine stamp from Notes and Totes. Giving this just another second to dry. Let's put some air on it. I'm going to be very, very sad to see these colors go. Sometimes when new in colors come out, it's easy to like 4 out of the 5 or 3 out of the 5. But this time I truly loved all 5 colors. And the ones that came out the following year, so the ones that came out last year, I love those too. Those ones are Secret Sea, Darling Duckling, Timid Tiger, Strawberry Slush, and where is my 5th one that goes with that group? It must be, let's see if I'm using it. on an upcoming card. What is that fifth color? I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. And then very soon we have the 5 brand new in colors coming, and they are just beautiful. In fact, if you want to see a sneak peek, mine have arrived. I haven't even taken the plastic off of them. Here are the 5 new in colors for 2026 through 2028. And they are the new ink pad design, which has a magnetic feature to it. And like I said, I haven't even taken the plastic wrap off of these. Here are the 5 colors that are coming: Golden Glow, Hydrangea Hue, Crisp Cantaloupe, Barely Blush, and Peaceful Pine. Really, really beautiful colors, and wait till you see how well they work together. All right, let's go back to our card. I think we've given it enough time to dry, just enough. All right, only because I've got Summer Splash already open, I'm going to start with it. But we're going to use each of the 5 colors. And I'm just going to stamp my little sunshine right in its color on my background, like so. I'll give it a quick wash on my chamois. And we'll go to Shy Shamrock and put one of those down. Next is Petunia Pop, which is probably, even though I love all 5 of them, probably the one that I'm going to miss the most. Such a pretty pinky purple color that I used quite a bit. And then up to Pretty in Pink. And last, we'll do Peach Pie. And as you can see, we've just got a beautiful smooshed ink, kind of a little backdrop there that's quite effective. Okay, let's take some Petunia Pop ribbon. I've got a piece here that is about 15 inches long. And what I'm going to do with it is tuck it behind this white piece. And we're going to go ahead and tie, we're just going to tie a knot. We're going to keep it easy. We're not even going to struggle with a bow today. So I'm going to tie my knot. Let's slide it up the card a little bit here. There were actually 2 different Petunia Pop ribbons. There's the one I'm using now, and then there was one that was, I'm saying was because it's going away, but is iridescent. Let me show you that one. This is the bordered ribbon in Petunia Pop, and it is 3/8 inch. That's what we used today. But this one is also stunning. This is the Petunia Pop, and it is the iridescent, and it's a 1/4 inch. So it's a little bit more narrow, and it's got that shimmer and shine to it. I started using this, I think, back in October with my Halloween projects, but I am really, really going to miss this color and these ribbons when they go away. All right, let's just straighten that out a little bit. Now the paper is wanting to curve and crunch up a little bit. That's because we got it wet, but once we put it onto our card front, it's going to be just fine. I'm going to take some scissors and snip this. Now, I'm going to tell you something that's interesting. We were going to make this card at my April stamp club, and I changed my mind kind of at the last minute. I'm getting all of the pieces and the products that we need for my April stamp club, which is coming up. I'm getting those all prepared. And this was going to be one of the cards, and I changed my mind. We're actually going to change gears and end up doing a Father's Day card instead, or it could be a birthday card, but it's definitely going to be a guy card that we're making in April. That way we have plenty of time between April and Father's Day if we want to purchase those products and remake the card that we're going to make at club. But I was happy to show this one to you today since I won't be making a separate club video because we're not going to do this one at Stamp Club. All right, we can put this all together now. So I've got my card base back out. This is going to go on the front, and because I want it to lay down and to not be buckling from the water, I am going to use my seal, and I'm going to go all the way around the edges. I really want this to lay nice and flat. I don't want to add any liquid glue to this. I think you'll be fine if that's what you have at home, but that's why I chose my Stampin' Seal for this card for today, because I really want to make sure that I get it flattened out. All right, here we go. You have to eyeball it before you lay it down because there's not any wiggle room once you set this down, like there would be with your liquid glue. All right, that's looking good. And I'm going to press. And then just in case, you know how it is, sometimes you get ink on your fingers and you don't even know it. I don't want to like be pressing on this beautiful crisp white cardstock with my fingers. So I'm going to flip this over and press on the back. Here, let's pull that open. Pressing that white cardstock panel to the front of my card. I've got the little bump here from my ribbon notch. That's fine. And there we have it. Now it's laying nice and flat. Now we're going to dress this up. I have some adhesive backed shiny sequins. Honestly, without even pulling it up on the online store right now, I'm not positive if these are still available or not, but perhaps you already have them in your stash. I have a variety of sequins tucked in here. And actually, whatever these are, like I said, I have a variety of sequins in here. I'm going to pull out something that sort of looks blue and something that sort of looks pinky purple and one that looks more peachy. Is that this one? Yeah, I think this will look good. All right, let's use a combination of those to put some pizzazz on the front of our card. And I'll start with a large bluish one. These purple ones that I grabbed are they the same size? Oh, I guess this is more of a medium and a small. Let's grab a medium. And then from this packet, this kind of peachy, yellow, orangey one. So I'm just mimicking kind of the colors of my stripe here with the colors of those sequins. And look at how simple, but really, really attractive. Let's decorate the inside and we will wrap it up. I will show you the other card that I made that's identical to this one. But again, you're going to get a different look every time you do your ink smooshing technique. So I'm going to take this and let's go back to our sunshine and Petunia Pop. And we'll just add a couple of these here. I'm doing some without re-inking, so I get a light and a dark. And I didn't intend to do this, but I really like how it kind of looks patchy right there because it's mimicking how the front of the card also kind of looks patchy. I I really like how that looks. All right, and this time I'm going to take a little bit of ink off. I have a teeny scrap sitting here. I'm going to stamp my sun on there partially and give my third one a press here, and it's also going to look kind of patchy, kind of light and dark. Ah, exactly what we're going for. Now, if you have 3 perfect Petunia Pop sunshines, that's totally fine too. But you can see how it actually looks quite intended, especially when you consider that this is the inside of the card. It goes with that ink smooshing look. Okay, let's attach that. And then I'll bring out the other card and we'll compare. This time I'm just going to use my multi-purpose glue or my green glue. Get that onto this panel. And we can finish with our decorated insides. All right, you know what I think would be really cute is if we put one more little star or sunshine right here on the back. And I'm going to put my initials. Do you ever do this? Do you ever decorate the back? Put like a hand stamped by or made for you. There's my little sunshine and my initials. That's kind of fun. Sometimes I forget to do that. I don't do it all the time, but when I remember, I like to carry out my little trademark, so to speak, and put something on the back of the card. All right, there we have our fast and easy card for today. I hope you enjoyed this ink smooshing technique. You don't need any special training. You just need to go for it. And you'll see, okay, here's another one, which is similar but different. You can see my green kind of smushed a little different here. And this smushed a lot more solid, where this one is patchy. So you can see how it just ends up slightly different no matter what you do, even if you use the same technique. I'm so happy that you stopped by today. If you at all enjoyed this free video tutorial, please leave me a comment. If you have any questions, you can leave that as well. I do put some information for you in the drop-down box below this video. And if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? It's free. It's easy. Go ahead and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the videos that I put here for you. Until next time, I will see you and happy stamping.